where they definitely look a little bit better. My name is Mitch, and alongside me is the beautiful, the wonderful, and the gorgeous Dean Brown. How are you doing today, Dean?
I got a beautiful and the gorgeous. I'm feeling very special right now. I'm good, and I'm hoping that Movistar riders are good now, that they can overcome what was a very surprising absolute stomp on that first map. I don't even want to say defeat. As yeah, now it just gets tougher for them coming onto train. It's a map in theory that we should see Sprout picking up relatively easily, and we're already kicking it off here. Positive is Movistar riders at least getting that CT-sided start.
A little bit of a start for them, perhaps to build up some confidence. But I don't know. Sprout have looked pretty good on an individual level. And as we move on into this map, I don't feel like that's going to shut down all too much. Now, Searson has more room to play with the AWP. You've got Keto obviously fragging like crazy all by himself. But the good thing is now we're in the pistol round, so they don't get the chance to do all too much with ops just yet. It's all about the Glocks and a P250 on Fab, and he's been dropped over that weapon as one of the stronger players, but the best player on this team. I think a lot of the time, although Keto has been playing well today, his head is ripped off to start us off, and 1-for-1 trades lead to a bomb plant now for Sprout.
Yeah, Mixwell doesn't really want to give them too much space to work with, though, instantly pushing up to help his teammates. Mopo's actually catching Searson, who was trying to get aggressive as the smoke was fading away. As the trades eventually do begin to actually go in favor of Movistar riders now. They still have that smoke to put down as well. No kick currently in play, as we do actually just see the bomb being tapped for the moment, but Mixwell tapping away, not quite been able to take down Mirror, but it's dropped to the 1v1. But in the end, it will be Soaker who actually manages to come in with that frag. Plenty of time for the defuse to come true. And that is going to be Movistar riders picking up a pistol this time around, Mitch. You said as we were in the after game discussion there in that previous match, we didn't in that previous map rather, we didn't see them picking up either of the pistol rounds. You said you wanted to see them at least pick up a pistol, and you laughed. Well, who's laughing now? They got one, Mitch. It's a good start. 1-0. Can they keep it up though? We should see an eco at least coming through from Sprout. So likely a 2-0 lead should come true at the very least, which is already at that point bringing them pretty close to what they had in the previous map.
Absolutely. Like, that's the whole problem for them right now. The pistols are up in the air a lot of the time, at least showing a little bit more about winning the pistol round here. But it's when it comes down to the full buys that I expect to see a much different game plan result, I suppose, for Sprout. Still doing decent damage coming into this one here. They've not bought up armor. They've got their deagles to work with. 1 kill on the board. Low HP on Soaker. With the bomb now dropped, damage with limited impact, and he was just spotted walking out of upper by deaths. Of course, without armor, when you run into that MP9, it's never really going to end too well for you. Now 2-0. Sprout are able to get a full buy out, though, and a lot of the time this economy system is described as the race to the AWP. And if that's what it is, as God be theorized, well, then it absolutely is already going in favor of Sprout. As Searson takes the op out here on train. Map where we already highlighted him. Highlighted him to have a lot of potential, a lot of impact coming throughout it. We'll see if that's possible now coming into the buy round. Both teams have invested fully for the most part. So whoever wins this probably gets a second on the board on the back of it.
Death's actually not able to win that fight outright there. Ends up falling to Favin. The trade at least comes in from Mixwell, but again, Keto able to go ahead and successfully return one rather. So that should at least be the bomb plant now being able to go down. Oh no, never mind. They tried to plant it open, and I don't think Soaker had any idea that he was going to be spamming the bomb planter right there. A very successful spray indeed. Another kill coming in alongside of it suddenly puts it actually into a man advantage for Movistar. And Alex in an amazing position right now. If he just peeks down, he'll be able to spot Keto out, but it's Mirbit on a flank of his own. There's so much going on right now, Mitch.
It is a messy round, but one where Movistar definitely have come ahead with bomb control in their favor, but they're very spread out. One by one, they're going to push into this player, and oh my god, Alex, that was very awkward. Mirbit unable to hit the shots, though, leaves over Movistar on 3-0. We talked about how important of a round that was. The one thing going for Sprout is that they've actually managed to get a lot more damage done than I'd expected. Although Movistar Riders winning the round, I thought they would do it a little bit cleaner if they did. So now they have the opportunity, if they can find 2 or maybe 3 kills in this round, to at least keep Movistar Riders down low and stop them from getting any control over their economy on the CP side, which can be a very important aspect of the game. Oh, no. I mean, that's so unlucky. As soon as they go in for the aggression. I mean, it's not the round to get aggressive, really. You're giving the pistols all the opportunities. An M4 retrieve. I mean, 2 to 3 kills turns into they can win. They can actually win this round. Alex has been a standout player for Movistar, though. Picks up 2, taps away Akito, and brings the third over in their favor. But again, we're down to a 1v1. Mervin's actually got armor to work with as well, so it's only the headshot he's worried about. He's got the better weapon to play with as well. That's coming in with an MP9, and he won't get gun kickoff. He needs to land a headshot pretty much straight away, or get a lucky spray. There it is. Eventually, the headshot onto Merva gives them the round, but Sprout only bought Deagles. I don't know why Movistar felt the need to get aggressive in a round like that. You know they're going to be on a weaker buy after how the previous went. They didn't even get a bomb plant. And yet they decide that, oh, this is the time to push main.
Yeah, and that messes up their buy a little bit in this round. Mixwell coming out with a FAMAS, he's actually just going to drop that over to Soaker. So, I mean, it's not too bad the FAMAS being the main weakness, but of course, the amount of reinvestment that has to come through because of the damage that they actually took in that previous round puts them in a position where if Sprout pick up this one, then instantly Movistar Riders are looking at not only an eco, but a double eco onto a good few of their players. Let's see now, Sprout, will they be successful as they come on towards the rifles once again? They have the op for Circin to work with, they have the rifles, plenty of utility. As early on, they do actually look to be focusing on over towards B. The majority of their players, and I think they know all their players, as they did have one initially holding A main, but I believe he's fallen back over now to just go ahead and group up with his teammates. That's in a good position to aggressive on upper. The second the contact is made, peeks out for a quick double frag. They do end up losing Soaker in the meantime, but Mopos was still on the bomb site. He delays slightly, and Death comes in to clean up for a quad kill. It's all onto Mirbit now, 1 on 3.
He knows where Deaths is, at least. Bomb under his possession. He's found one. But Deaths is there. Oh, no. Oh, no, Deaths. He aces the round and then finishes himself off. Alrighty. Well, he at least won the round for his team. 5 kills on the board and 5 rounds from Movistar Riders. Sprout really struggling on the terrorist side, but again, we're seeing a much better Movistar Riders. I'll give them that. They're playing really well. That aggression from Deaths was perfectly timed, but we've seen some mistakes come through already. The aggression up against the weaker buy. And at the same time, with Sprout moving into what could be a full buy. Yeah, okay, they're going to go for it. They won't have the op to work with, instead going to the scout. I mean, they are on the terror side. You can have a slower start here. Losing out the pistol as well. I think if they lose this buy round, then they're in a little bit of trouble. They probably could have went for just pistols to play with. Pistols and armor, bit of utility, maybe a rush B with smokes down, but coming in for this investment, it puts them in a bit of a shaky position, because if they let Movistar win, it's 7-0, almost guaranteed. And at that point, they've got a good enough lead that you can't really use the excuse, well, it's T-side train, slow to start. No, that's a good start for them. And with 2 kills already on the board, things are shaping up really well for Movistar.
Yeah, they're looking so much better right now on train. It's good to see from them that they've come alive somewhat. Keto trying to come out of Pop Dog actually will be able to pull one back on the Mopos though. So suddenly it is a 3-on-3 to Molotov towards Connector as well. Forces Mixwell back off alongside Deaths, of course. So a good bit of pressure now being put onto the shoulders of Alex as he's left as, for the moment at least, the sole defender. The Molotov now gone. Fortunately enough, for the sake of Sprout for the sake of Movistar right there rather, Sprout didn't look to try and commit off the back of that. So slowing it down for now. 50 seconds remaining, and it does look like B perhaps to actually be their main focus from this point forward. I was going to say it looked like they still might take it down Pop Dog.
What worries me is how low the money is for Movistar Riders, especially losing Deaths to unconventional means. It's really hurt, like losing so many players in the rounds they're winning has really hurt them. Bit of scout and play for Circin, but the AWP on Mixwell actually goes down. A beautiful trade. Circin dangerous with a scope of any kind, and that 1-for-1 has allowed them to get the bomb plant down. With the scout still in play, looking on from afar, catches the legs of Deaths. He's down low. This is a really good position for Sprout. They've got all the info to play with. Circin's position is known. A smoke deployed by Deaths stops Merba from saying too much down towards the bottom of ramp. And a flash through should help, but Alex gets lit up by the scout again. Circin is doing so much damage, and he's going to take the final kill if Deaths isn't careful. A wallbang headshot to close it out. Sprout Finish out the round with 3 kills from Searson on a scout. He saves an M4 as well. Incredible 5-1 for them now.
Look at the money.
This is the thing. This is what we're talking about. Death's found an ace, but he died. So many other players died alongside him. In all the rounds they've won, they've survived with 2 to 3 players. And what we said from the start, Sprout were doing enough damage that they could get that economic sort of reset done, I suppose. The closest you get to the old traditional resets, as they're now on round 1 loss bonus, $1,400, and they've barely anything to work with. Even players double eco as well. Like, this is a really rough spot.
Yeah, I'd expect them to just buy up here, in all honesty. They're not buying in the next round no matter what. Mixwell, Dets, and Alex, as you said, looking at a double eco. Mopos is as well. Soaker would really be the only one that have enough to get an actual buyout. And even then, it wouldn't be great. So, a force buy, I would imagine, probably going to come true after this pause is over. If the force buy doesn't work, though, then the eco, of course, going to be coming true. At that point, then Sprout likely bringing it up to 3 rounds on the D side after initially being down 5-0, of course. So that damage that had been consistently done has really added up, and unfortunately for Movistar Riders, coming back to bite them in the behind as a better, I guess, more friendly version of the saying goes.
When pause comes through, and I don't know that it's one that's needed if it's the CT side calling it. Terrors can maybe pick out their weapons a little bit more carefully, but at that, it won't be that big of a deal. With 4 rounds between them, like we said, this isn't terrible for Sprout. They are on the terrorist side. This is something that definitely expect from them, to have that much slower start. So they definitely have access still into this game, with this being their map pick as well. And normally at this point, look, I would definitely be favoring Movistar Riders. They've got a good start. They're on this map in particular. They're looking different, I suppose, but they haven't cleanly won any rounds is the other problem. The closest they came was when Dets had an ace. And if you're relying on aces to come through for clean rounds, it's not great. They force buy in here, which isn't the best decision. Again, the buy rounds have seen super close wins. So when you force like this, based on how the map has been going, based on the previous map as well, it's not too likely that you win this.
Yeah, they are looking to get aggressive. I mean, I like the idea. I don't think they had a flash, unfortunately, that was able to go through. And of course, being held by both Mirbit and Spitty, they will be successful in finding a frag each. And put it pretty swiftly in favor of Sprout right now. A headshot again coming through there from Mirbit, just tapping away onto Mixwell. There is still Alex, who's been hiding in towards that hell position, I believe, for quite a while right now. So maybe an opportunity for a bit of damage to come through if he catches him off guard. But as the bomb now is being planted, it should be a pretty easy second round here for Sprout. Taking their time, though, actually. Cancels the plan for a second. Alex is going to be able to get one. The second on the Saracen. Doesn't quite deny the bomb plant, but pulls it back into a winnable position. And he takes off the head of Mirbit towards Mayan as well.
Alex has been so impactful. Dets on the flank. These two players have carried Movistar Riders through most of the rounds they've won. A 3K on the board for Alex. Flashbang going out. He's not sticking this. Keto knows that now. He's just spotted him out. He's got to go back and tap it again. No kid to play with. Keto buys his time. He knows this is a weaker investment, and they probably won't have that. He has to swing out, though. He doesn't know if it's been stuck. Now he does. The bullets give it away, and there's no time left for Alex to win this. He forces the issue, but Keto plays it perfectly and patiently, not allowing anything to go into Movistar Riders with a 2-piece on the board. Another round for Sprout. And with Movistar Riders, look, they did get decent damage in, but with the bomb plant as well, Sprout are looking okay. If they lose this round, they're in a lot of hot water economically, but the thing is they shouldn't. They shouldn't even take any losses in terms of manpower, because there's not a single upgrade on the CT side. They've invested $0. So even though they don't cleanly take the previous round, now that you're going to see Movistar Riders on that full eco, they have the potential to carry it over the line with all 5 weapons and bolster down that economy, especially if they get a bomb plant as well.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity for Sprout here to get themselves into a solid position on the D side. Of course, still pretty early days, been able to bring it up to 3 already, which they should be able to do quite easily. And then, as you said, build up some money, so even if they do end up losing the upcoming gun round, that they will still be able to get a buy through. Let's see. All default pistols right now on that CT side. An A stack, of course, coming through. And I feel like it's just going to be tough, even if we do see Sprout walk towards that stack, because the A bomb site just has so many open positions, especially when you're coming out of Pop Dog, which they do have a couple of players coming from. But let's see, because Soaker, maybe he can catch a couple of players off guard. Sirison will be able to get one before he drops the USP of Mixwell. And Soaker also been able to pounce for a frag there pretty quickly. It does at least amount to a little bit of damage there, that stack coming through. And I mean, that's something they can be happy with. They didn't invest anything at all in that round.
Yeah, I'm definitely not upset to see them with 2 kills. That's the position that, that's a position I didn't expect for them to get on the board at all. So walking away with that, I think is a lot better than even they would have expected. Catching a couple of players off guard, like you said, Soaker there pushing up. They were too worried about the players in the bomb site. Be able to sneak up behind them and take one with the double headshots in the USP. Now you're into a full buy with Movistar Riders with the potential to push Sprout onto no money for the next round as well. So again, it's a very important one. Thing is, if Sprout win this, they probably build up enough bank to easily repel that kind of reset. Whereas Movistar Riders aren't in the same boat. They need to start cleanly winning rounds. They can afford a couple of losses here because Sprout, well, actually, they might invest into the next, so that's not even necessarily true. I think, especially with the fact Sprout are building up T-side rounds now. They want to win this with like 3 players alive. Dets at least comes in with the opening on the Faven. Mopaz as well. This is a nice start for them. Spitty runs down the ramp and picks one. Swings on the Mopaz. And a second on the board for Spitty. Commands a monster. And an AWP holding down long range. He's actually taken care of. Only 1 kill gifted over towards Searson before he's eventually taken down. And Spitty is so low. That's spam. 1 more bullet needed. He has got an AK. Alex just needs to spam that smoke 1 more time, but he doesn't. Mixwell with the AWP. Scoped in. He doesn't see him. And all he needs is 1 more headshot. Biddy just gave me a heart attack. I thought he was going to get a 4K and win the round, but Alex comes through finally with that second kill, picks up an AWP and gets a defuse 6-3. But again, they've avoided what they needed, a clean round. So again, the investment is to come through.
Of course, also Sprout do still have a little bit of loss bonus built up, so alongside that 800 from the bomb plant, they actually do get a pretty decent buy-in. Merbit not actually having enough to buy, which is a little bit unfortunate, but overall, a pretty solid investment coming through. Merbit gets the Mach 10 out. He can be the one who kind of leads the way once they do push in towards the bomb site. But with the amount of damage, as you said, with the reinvestment having to come through there from Movistar Riders, they're left onto a buy that's severely weakened. They have 3 MP9s in play. Positive is pretty much everyone has a full set of utility, but on a map like Train, where there's so many long-range angles, that's definitely a massive disadvantage to have.
Oh yeah, it is huge. I mean, especially with the fact that they're on the CT side, Sprout are so close behind them. They had a 5-0 start, winning at the pistol round. We need to see a much more dominant position. And again, I would give a lot more leeway towards Movistar Riders, but for what we saw on the previous map, that I expect Sprout. I'm ignoring the first kind of 3-4 rounds because it's all about the buy rounds, and we've seen Sprout be consistently far better with the 16-3 on the previous map. That early start doesn't amount to a whole lot in the grand scheme of things unless they can back it up with convincing buy-round victories. Remember, this is Sprout's map pick. They're not going to be weak on the CT side. But Movistar Riders, they haven't sustained a loss just yet. They've got Mixwell still working around on the AWP. They're having a decent old time so far. Searson hasn't been doing too much. Hasn't had a lot of opportunity to do it, but he's got the op now. He's been sitting around Ivy for the last minute or so, waiting for someone to peek, but Movistar, conscious of the fact that there is going to be an opper lurking around waiting for them, are being a bit hesitant to make any crazy peeks. Oh, just try peeking there, Alex. Okay, he picks up 2. He walks away with his life. That nade shouldn't get him. And look, it was risky. I expected a pop flash to go through there, but none. It doesn't matter. He gets 2 for it. He's trapped in the corner. Searson's coming in with an op, though. Not the ideal weapon to take this fight with. Elsewhere, Dets manages to pick up 1. Searson does take Alex out, though. So we're into a 2v3. Nice shot by Mixwell.
Yeah, and even managed to flick over, of course, after hearing the scope coming through from Searson. 7-3 from Movistar Riders. They're looking a lot better here on Train than they were back on Overpass. It's definitely nice to see from them. We've been having some pretty one-sided games so far today, so to have Movistar Riders stepping it up now and coming back from such a horrific defeat back on that map on their own map choice. I was going to say on the first map, but the fact that it was their map choice makes it even worse. But yeah, Nico going to have to come through once again here from Sprout. So Movistar looking at an 8-3 lead most likely.
And an 8-3 lead is somewhere that you can definitely look towards them with a lot of favor. There's the opening duel from Mixwell. He had a fantastic round previously, even just in terms of the damage. I'm actually curious to check out what the opening duel percentage is right now. That's just tapping away from afar. But a decent position for Sprout, and the fact that they've managed to find the bomb plant. Like, Searson's not going to win this. He's got a deagle. I mean, we've seen him do well with a deagle before, but no armor. And they all know where he is. They're closing in 1v5. It's never happening. So right now, you've got, okay, 6 opening duels the way of Movistar Riders with 8 rounds on the board. That's a pretty decent position for them. Certainly a lot better than what we saw over on the previous map.
Yeah, just a massive step up from everyone. It's a pretty stable performance across the board as well. Soaker's down there a little bit, but overall, we do see just a much, much better performance across the board from Movistar Riders. And over on the Sprout side, I mean, things have been a little bit quieter so far from Keto. He's still been playing okay. Pretty much everyone is sitting on a similar level, contributing a similar amount. But with just 3 rounds right now on the board on this D side, they definitely want to try and get a bit more out. Try and grind it up to around 6 or so, and I think they would be pretty happy. That's beginning to look quite difficult right now because Mixwell opens things up. That aggression over towards B between Mopos and Soaker are going to be successful. Alex quickly dropping Spitty, who had creeped out A main, and now it's a 5-on-2 as a 9th round likely to be taken from Movistar Riders. And at that point, then of course Sprout would be looking at an eco, and we probably would see the Spaniard taking it up to double digits.
Yeah, and I need to see Sprout finish with at least 5 on the board. And, oh, nice shot by Keto, but he's got 2 players closing in on him. He's not getting away. Look at the money right now. That's 2 rounds in a row. Movistar Riders have won with 4 to 5 players left alive. We commented before, you know, we didn't really believe in them so much because even though they were winning rounds, they weren't clean. This time they are. Sprout now falling behind economically. They go in for a couple Mac-10s, a couple pistols. Really all they can afford. They're saving up money for the next round. You're expecting a much faster play. It seems to be towards B that they want to take it. Movistar Riders going to, like, it is a little bit late in the sense that they lose a round, they'll only have 1 more to buy into, but they can afford to sustain at least a loss at this point, so they've done well for themselves. Putting it down here with 2 kills to open it up. There's 2 players in Ivy, although Flashbang, Favin doesn't manage to find any angles favorably, and they actually don't lose a single player. That's a really nice spot for Movistar now. I say that they're looking like a completely different team coming into this, and Sprout struggling to get into it on the T side of Train. That's something you definitely don't see all too often.
Yeah, are we going to see a reverse of that previous map? Is it going to be Sprout losing their map choice 16-3 this time? Because I mean, it's definitely possible. If we don't see this gun round going in favor of Sprout, and if they don't find a bomb plant, then their buy in the next round could be a little bit limited. And at that point, then a possible 12-3 half for Movistar Riders. If they pick up that second pistol, they could certainly be finishing it off 16-3. I mean, this is surprising. This entire best of 3 so far has been quite surprising. If we do go to Nuke, though, I'm not really too sure what to expect from Movistar Riders over on Nuke. Then again, though, that's mostly going off of statistics, and we were going off of statistics heading onto Train right now, and of course we're seeing how that's going.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a weird series, that's for sure. You'd be forgiven for thinking the map picks were the opposite way around. But before the game, it certainly made sense. I do want to give the caveat that it's still definitely possible for Sprout to come back into it, but they have set themselves a very difficult task just with the fact that, let's say they win this round, but they really need 5 on the board. And Movistar Riders will get a perfectly, like, almost identical buyout with the exception of the AK-47 and play for deaths. You probably have an AUG or an M4. That's one other thing. Movistar don't seem to use AUGs, what we've seen of them, which is fairly uncommon. But then again, there was the very recent nerf, like yesterday or the day before. I suppose they're not feeling it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's still definitely useful. We've seen Vitality using it quite a bit in that previous game. Sure, the rate of fire is slowed down, but it's still very handy for maps with those long-range angles where you can just post up on that CT side. So it's interesting to see for sure. I mean, maybe Movistar Riders just a little bit more comfortable with those M4s right now. Let's see how it goes, though. Try and hold down this A bomb site as the execute comes through. Again, it is Mixwell. His opening frags pretty high right now here on this map as he's been successful time and time again. This time, though, he will actually be traded back pretty quickly by Favin. And Keto, I believe, is going to be able to catch a player off, and Hotdog gets one, and a free one on towards Mopos, who was still blinded. Sirison, in the meantime, taking down Alex, and with that, it's left all onto Deaths. And as he looks to try and come through from Connector, 3 opponents to take on. It's a very difficult clutch.
Well, good night, gents. A little bit of a awkward situation there with the flashbang going
From
through.
Opos, yeah. It's just chilling, shooting at the wall. Obviously misjudged slightly where he was looking while completely blinded, so can't really be faulted. It happens.
It's full blind. Did I get him, guys? Did I get him? Yeah, you almost got him. You almost got him, buddy. Good try, good try.
You've still got to prop your teammate up.
Exactly.
No matter
Jets
what.
comes out with an AUG. There we go. He's got the, he almost ran out of spawn with a UMP, but quickly swapped over. I think
That
it
would have
was
been strange.
Maybe it was Alex.
The last
It was on the floor. He dropped his weapon and almost picked it up by accident. I almost walked out of it there by accident. It's 10-4. Sprout again. Like with that round under their belt, they need this one. They really do. But they're up against a full buy. A very stacked economy from Movistar Riders has allowed them to have such an advantage. And Sprout angling towards B in terms of the upper control early on, but the bomb still hasn't fully negotiated its way over there. And with the fact that they can obviously drop down pop at any moment, and there's some players rotating back, this is looking to be an A hit late on. Quite very little controller information. And they know the op has been playing here consistently. And I don't like this. They're angling towards Ivy. They've not had a whole lot of success here.
Pretty much none, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, and they're just going for it again. Why not?
I mean, you can't shy away from things if it's a part of your game plan that you do need. Maybe they think this is a strategy that really will work. Maybe they think, okay, we've been a little bit unlucky a couple of times. We can get it this time. But, I mean, they're not really focused too heavy on it. It looked like they were gonna with 3 players, but they've left now, which is mere bit.
Yeah, it was the fact that they were bringing Sears in there. I thought they were going to post up with the op again, like with a minute left, and see if they peek. Like, they haven't been peeking Ivy. That's not the strat. But Keto comes in with an opening onto Mopaz. Death turns it over towards B, and he's holding it down valiantly with 2 on the board. He's low HP, but he's done enough to repel them. They're now going to refocus their attention over towards that A bomb site where Murbit's rotated in from Ivy to come at main, but they've got to plant the bomb right away. Pushing through the smoke here. Movistar Riders should catch them off. Sprout have died to time. They've lost him. Bomb goes down, but, I mean, he's caught there. He's planting the bomb. Nobody to cover him as they're already dead. Just left it way too late there. I mean, you're setting up for Ivy with 36 seconds left, then your opper's rotating back to hit B. You've players running down the ramp while your opper's still like nowhere near even Pop Dog. He's coming through the toilets. You lose your B players staggered in 1 by 1, rotate back to A, 10 seconds left. It was a messy round from Sprout.
Yeah, messy to say the least. So 11-4 half from Movistar Riders. I mean, it's not over yet, considering we do know Sprout are a pretty great team here on train. We definitely could see them pulling the back here on the CT side, but 11 rounds, it was surprising for me. And I mean, normally the T side is pretty good for Sprout as well. So maybe they're just having a little bit of an off day here on train. As I was saying, though, if we do get the nuke, I don't really know what to expect of Movistar Riders over a nuke. I think they've played it like 12 times and they've only won it like 3 or 4. Yeah, and even then, not against great opposition.
Yeah, but I would have said very much the same about Train. It's a weird situation. It shows kind of we're projecting that maybe they're having a rougher time on Train. They're just not feeling it right now. For a team that's so good on Train, I don't know what that last round was. Like, obviously, there's a layer to this we're missing. But something is happening right here which just doesn't make sense. They have so little time. They approached the round as a default. Then they looked for some A presence, but then they didn't, and they went B with a player still posted down Ivy, and he didn't push Ivy. He came back and went A main, and it's like I don't know. I honestly haven't got a clue. Like there were 3 different points in the round where you're like, oh, this is what they're aiming to do. Oh no, okay, well time's running low, so this is going to be the thing they do. No, they're switching it up again. It's like, I don't know, they just couldn't make their mind up on what they had no information to play with, I mean, is one thing you could say, but at that point, with 35 seconds left on the clock, you gotta just pick something and do it. Hope it works out. Can't just mess around like that.
Yeah, hopefully we should be getting back into this one soon. Movistar Riders, though, I mean, do you feel like that they're going to be able to just go ahead and finish this one off? I do still have a little bit of worry in the back of my mind, just because we know that Train isn't a good map for them, that they are going to struggle on this T side, and if they are to lose that second pistol round, then that maybe it could begin to fall apart a little bit.
Well, like, looking at their most recent games, right? They beat KL 16-8. It was, so they lost the pistol round No, they won the pistol round actually, CT side, but they had they lost the rounds directly afterwards. Their terror side had 13 rounds on it, 13-2 started off. Up against G2, 7-7 on their T side. And those are their two most recent games. Just for the crack, I'm going to open up Epsilon and see what that's like. Oh, they lost their T side 10-2. Well, that kind of ruins my narrative. Let's ignore the Epsilon game. G2 and Chaos. I'm actually sorry. The Epsilon game is 2 months ago. G2 Chaos are like in the last week.
Yeah.
But they're definitely more relevant as well. Their T side was spectacular. We've seen Movistar Riders do really, really well here against really good teams. So, I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to close this out. Coming into the series in general, I was expecting the T side to be their better win. And so seeing them get off to such a strong start on the counter-terrorist was definitely a positive. Like right now, the win conditions for Movistar Riders are have good buy rounds. That's pretty much it. That's like the minimum win conditions. For Sprout, they have to win the pistol. Movistar, they don't care either way. It'd be nice to win the pistol, but it's not essential. Sprout have to win the first full buy, or at least one of the first two. Movistar, they've got time to play with. So there's a lot more pressure on Sprout. Things they have to do.
Oh yeah,
and Movistar, they've given themselves such a buffer.
Sprout have to pick up this pistol round as well, otherwise it's pretty much all over and done with. On this map at least, of course, they did pick up map number 1 in this best of 3. So Movistar right now trying to take it on to a third and final one. Spitty right now actually somewhat aggressive, just shoulder peeking that ramp. Will find himself a little bit of info as he sees a couple of players peeking down. Does have Sirison also who's playing just a little bit more passively. As we see a couple smokes, a Molotov and the flash, it does seem like Movistar Riders are just going to be setting themselves up for a quick B play here. The Molotov probably going to remain over towards Heaven so that they can try and play time on the bomb. And they don't even use the smoke initially, they just push forward. I think it eventually is drawn out towards Connector, taking the fight against Spitty. It's a couple of trades coming back from Sprout, but overall, it is those blocks coming out on top of things for Movistar Riders. They end up with a 3-on-2, Keto getting dinked down and forced away from the fight for a while as the bomb gets planted.
Got Keto on 24 HP and Murbit. Okay, Murbit at least finds one. He's got no armor though, so through a smoke he might look okay, but when he's at... Alright. Nice little one tap on the Dets. Good night. So it's all Alex. Alright, 1v2. Keto's pretty low. He can get information from Murbit to play with, but with no armor up close against the Glock, that's not a fight you look all too good in. Hiding inside the smoke is a big play. Murbit's got a kit and he might be tempted to just go for it. Gets in there. Alex is slashing away. He knows he's so close and he gets the headshot. What a round. He's got time as well, surely. Oh my god, Murbit. You dirty dog. What a round. What a round to win. I don't know why he was just... He literally knifed the one direction that Murbit couldn't be in. Like, his face was against the bomb site, and he just knifed the bomb site. Like,
take that train.
I don't know what that was about.
Really
but,
doesn't like the map. Yeah, that was a little bit awkward to say the least. Some nice shots though coming through from Murbit, of course. And I mean, I don't know, Movistar Riders right now.
Another questionable knife.
Yeah, this time on a teammate though. Unfortunate for Soaker, 28 HP. They don't really have much weaponry to work with anyway though, so it shouldn't really change the outcome of the round. It's going to be a loss. Either way, as Sirison, he's ready with that MP9, and he's go ahead and build up bank.
You know what? I actually know what he was doing in the smoke. He was trying to cut the defuse wires. That's it.
Oh,
so you
be able to do that.
Kit. You break his kit, what's he going to do? You know, he's got a 10-second defuse, no time. Easy. Just this game is too unrealistic.
Run up and knife the wire and it restarts their defuse.
And breaks their kit, so they got to use the 10 seconds.
Imagine.
It'd be beautiful. What a way to win the round that'd be.
Yeah, even with that pistol round gone in favor of Sprout though, it still could get a little bit awkward. As you said, they need to pick up this first gun round to keep themselves in this. If they lose that, I mean, they have a bit of money in the reserve, but it wouldn't be an amazing buy. And of course, they don't want to be giving rounds away at all, ideally, if they want to start building this comeback up. They want to try and get off to a good streak early on. Bit of damage though towards Murbit, not the start they would have been hoping for. I believe he was naded down to 47.
Oh, all that info. All the info.
They might not expect the player up close though.
If Haven's not the player to go for flanks though. He's backing out of there. He's not feeling it right now with the MP9 in play. He wants to hold in case they're faking it out, in case they're holding up close. He knows a lot of presence towards upper B, so they'll definitely expect a split down through Pop if it is going to be an A hit. Hito is cut out though. The totem pole goes well. As the Ancient Gods are good to Movistar Riders, they've got a one-man advantage.
Yeah, and also off the back of that drop-down Pop Dog, they've successfully sold a bit of a fake. The rotation having come true now. It leaves Mirbet as the sole B defender. He's pushed up close to upper. He's actually going to take a peek. This timing could be perfect. Will he be able to find himself a couple of frags potentially? It's just the one. Unfortunately for Movistar, the bomb actually slid down the ramp backwards, remaining of the T players, but it doesn't really seem like it's going to matter because right now it's being held down by Spid. He gets himself a quick double kill again, though traded back by Soaker before eventually Dets is left alone in the 1-on-2. Knows where Spiddy is positioned at least and will be able to actually take him down. A lot of damage though being put through in the meantime.
There was 10 seconds. There was 10 seconds left. He didn't need to peek there. All you gotta, you know your teammates coming on the flank. Buy as much time as you physically can. It's a reckless round to lose. And mistakes like that this late on with Movistar having that kind of lead is just... that's hurtful to see.
And then just turns around and catches the player jumping down the ramp. That was interesting. I don't know. A little bit of overconfidence, I guess, after already finding three frags from Spiddy, but if he just stayed in Summit instead of live, even just gave the bomb plant over so that the flank could come through and they could work together to just sandwich him in, it would have been a much better approach. Instead now, as I said, Sprout, they're able to get the buyout again, but it's not perfect. Not a lot of utility remaining. Keep trying to push forward. His legs are spotted. As a man advantage early on into this round goes in favor of Movistar Riders. Fabin, he's looking to try and pull it back aggressive towards A main, allowing himself to pick up 2 frags. So they have managed to somewhat stabilize things once again.
Mopaz can't pick up one of those weapons either. They're down towards main, and there's even more on the floor now. Nice nade going through. Oh, it does nothing, actually. Lands the other side of the bomb site. Searson able to take cover. And now playing above the smoke with the AWP. Mopaz is in a little bit of trouble when he tries to leave Pop Dog. He'll be walking right into the sight lines of Searson. As Zesh says it. Germans, I feel like he knows better. 2v2. I mean, Alex is so low right now as well. Player's got full HP. He's got a Mach 10. 40 seconds. The rotation down from Opaz is good. He can at least pick up an AK on the way out the door. But they're going to have so little time when they push towards this site. Murbit's playing in a pretty sneaky, beaky position. He should be able to catch him by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, it's a relatively common position, but as long as he just plays time, then it's going to be difficult for them to actually handle, of course, as you said, with the time being so low.
Just shot off, so they know he's coming.
Yeah, I heard the shot, and I wasn't too sure where that had come from. You can see they were looking up indeed. Alex trying to check if the bomb site is clear. I guess at this point, expecting that maybe to have been a little bit of a bait out for someone else who may have been nearby. Nice shot by Mirbit to deny the plant rider initially, but it will eventually come true. Man is still in play, and Mirbit going to go ahead and just about win out that duel. Would have been awkward if he went down, though, because then Searson coming in from Pop Dog on the op would have been left in a difficult 1v1. He would have seen, of course, the opportunity to play around those trains and just run the time down on the bomb.
I was going to say they're doing it again. I saw that peek come through. Pearson was going down slow because he didn't want to give away that he was coming from there. They learned their lesson from the previous flank. But Mervin swinging out there got me a little bit scared, I'll be honest. The 12-7. It was curious. I mean, I think they pre-fired Pop Dog. They ran out. It was Mopaz just pre-fired Pop Dog. I don't know, maybe he saw like a blood spatter on his screen that looked like a body or something. It definitely left Murbit on edge, ready to take the fight. Heavy pistol rush now coming through Ivy, and Sprout have been playing this much more aggressively than we've seen Movistar, so they're actually vulnerable to this. Murbit's down low, and flashbangs worked out so well for him. And I don't... Was it his flashbang, or was it theirs? I think it was his.
Yeah, I believe it was his. But it got a little bit awkward. He did actually end up going down, as I believe the player who was initially holding a main got dropped. Not a big deal, I suppose, in the outcome of the round in the end, as it does still go in favor of Sprout. But again, some decent damage at least coming through from Movistar Riders as they keep that economy modest for Sprout. So with the buy coming through again from the Spanish side, if they're able to pick this one up, Sprout would be in a very tough position with very little economy left in the bank. So it's so crucial for them to pick this one up. And they've actually gone ahead and brought out the double op setup as a little bit of a change to things. Let's see if this is going to be what they need to pick up this gun round.
If it ain't broke, then upgrade it. As Murbit's... Oh no, that flash has not gone according to plan. It landed just behind him. So Dets was not able to jump across as safely as he'd expected. This aggression, though, from Alex hasn't been spotted out. Favin's shot off the off. They know he's close. Oh, no. Oh, no, Alex.
How does that happen?
How does he not die there? Favin was in a corner, just being spammed away. Now the Og and Murbit, and this round's gone to hell in a handbasket. Movistar Riders. I thought they had it with the position there. I thought Alex could take out the op. They'd have a lot of control then. That notion was quickly swept out of possibility, out of the realm of reality. As it's 12-9, and now Movistar, again, defying what we thought, statistically being a far better team on the terrorist side in their most recent games. Over the last month and a half, they've been dominating up against G2 and Chaos over on their terrorist side, and yet, evidently, it's just not enough as Sprout are turning up like crazy.
Yeah, that was my worry. The worry wasn't really that Movistar Riders aren't good enough on the T side. It's that in general, it's not an amazing map for them. And for Sprout, it's probably their best map statistically. They play it very often. They play against good level of opponents, and you just imagine that CT side is going to be extremely well drilled. And as a team who doesn't play it too much, Movistar Riders, they're going to have a tough time trying to get through it, especially if what they try initially doesn't work. And that seems to be the issue right now. It's only Alex who remains. One kill coming through on the Keo at least, but it's not very much damage at all. Sirison going to go ahead and pick off that final frag from the connector position towards main. As a buy again is going to be coming through, but Sprout now, they've brought it up to double digits. This is looking much closer than it was before.
So, like, I'm looking at two of their most recent games over on the Sprout side, Alternate Attacks and Spirit. They beat Alternate with 13 rounds on their CT side, and they beat Spirit 14 on their CT. That's pretty good, but it does kind of even out towards a pretty, like, sure, the Sprout are a CT side team on this map, no doubt, but they generally have better T sides than what we saw from them. So it's a little bit surprising, but...
Oh yeah, there was a lot of mistakes being made that just can't be taken away from that previous half. Even if Sprout do win this, the T side, I think, is something that they'll be looking back at. For sure.
But look, they're locking them out right now. There's one kill at least return. Soaker not able for more. Keto trades it back, looking like himself from what we've seen on the previous map. As Mopaz goes down, Molotov towards backside, limits the angles Keto can peek from, but it doesn't limit anything that Murba can do. The flank has worked out perfectly. And Mixwell walking on forward, his big barrel is protruding out in front of him. Stiffly in front of his face, but everybody could see it. And it was just indecent.
Yeah, one in the difference that likely isn't going to last too long either, because as we can see, the money isn't amazing for Movistar. I mean, they can buy in 4 players, so they probably are going to invest into this one. They're going to be talking about what way they're going to do it right now, of course, as the pods comes through. But Mixwell not going to be getting the oppo. He's been a pretty crucial player, especially trying to open things up here on the T side so far. And utility-wise, it probably won't be perfect either. So it's getting a little bit awkward. We're seeing them really struggle here now on this T side. And I feel like they've been swapping things up quite a lot as well. We've seen them go for a couple of quick rounds. We've seen them go for the defaults. It just doesn't really seem to matter what happens. We've even seen them start the rounds off quite well. There was for example, that round, it was probably like 4 rounds back where they managed to actually find a nice advantage, but then Favin just pushed up to A main, took down 2 kills very easily. And even though he got traded back, it just given them the time to rotate over and just set up on the bomb site. It's just a very solid approach from Sprout, great communication. And look at this for Movistar, straight out to the A bomb site. An immediate rush as Deaths goes ahead and picks up 2 on the AK. That's exactly what Movistar Riders needed. Are they going to be able to pick up a round now off the back of this? It's looking quite likely.
Completely locked out with the smokes down. Sprout have got the money to go for this retake though if they want to. It's a 3v5 though with that spam through the smoke. I mean, this should just drive them over to a save. It looks like it is as well as they bail out. One thing I want to point out, over on the Sprout side, I mean, everybody is positive in this half. But Murbit is the player that has just astounded me with the change in performance since we swapped over. He's on 130 ADR this half. Ito returning to himself a little bit more so. We're seeing Sirison certainly feeling more comfortable on the AWP over on that counter-terrorist side. But Murbit has stepped it up hugely. And coming into this half, I mean, they needed it. They needed everybody to start playing a little bit more like themselves. I feel like now that they don't have to worry, I feel like they were kind of overthinking things on the terrorist side, outplaying themselves almost. But now they're a little bit more comfortable. They're more familiar with the CT side. They get on better here. But Movistar have picked up a round. And with that, not a whole lot of losses. Their economy is just fine. Mopaw's the only player that's down low. He's on $250. But if they lose this round, their loss bonus, as well as if they get a bomb plans here, they should be fine. Searson doesn't connect the opening duel. Now it's dangerous for him to repeat because Mixwell's got the angle. That Molotov will force Mixwell out of position. Will force him to drop a smoke there by excluding any angle towards main. And he can't peek it right now.
This is a pretty crucial round for both sides right now.
Look at Murbit's position right now. I mean, this is so dangerous for him to push up an Ivy. He went through the smoke. They haven't spotted him out. They have no idea, but a flash goes through. He dodges it. They come up close. They're not checking it. They're not checking this corner. And they line up.
Oh, got a bit of help as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, that's it. They lined up, right? They're spraying at him. Spraying right into the ass of his teammate.
Yeah, shooting him in the ass, making him look like an ass.
That's a beautiful play. I mean, Murbit making those risky plays. He's been doing this again and again, getting aggressive on Ivy. I'm surprised they're not checking their corners at this point. He's been pushing up, going for flanks, and going for those aggressive plays a lot.
I was going to say, as you said, it was very dangerous. I was going to say it's an awkward position. It could be good if Favin had a flash, but he didn't. But as you said, as we see in Radar, it just didn't matter. They lined up. The commitment coming through towards B, at least for Movistar Riders, they will be able to get that bomb down, but that seems to be the extent of their success so far because Mixwell is now left in a 1-on-5. He's up in heaven, but there's not really much that he's actually going to be able to do about this. The smoke goes down and the defuse actually already coming through, and he doesn't even try and take the peek. Understandably, saves that up over, will be able to drop a weapon.
Oh, no.
Or not, because he ends up going down. Can buy another one, but it would have been nice if he survived just to drop over to Mopos so that the utility could be brought out.
Losing the op in the end, man. Look at how much that's going to eat into their economy. Mixwell would have had a little mountain of cash, but now he's got the least amount of money on his team. 13-2. Double op set up again, but this is the play that's worked for Movistar Riders. Going aggressive. This time they're caught out in the open. Murbit and Keto both find a kill. Movistar Riders pushed into like, look where they are. One main, one Ivy, one upper B. They're so spread out. No opportunities for trades in the players that died aggressively pushing the site. And it would have worked. Look, you'd have players looking for B pushes or B lurks. You'd have one down Ivy, making sure that nobody gets aggressive down there, where Murbit has been pushing a lot. But that relied on the players that pushed out early main to get damage done. Now, Alex has also been spotted. They know there's probably going to be someone around Ivy, around main. They've already spotted. And then the other guy's kind of a mystery to them, but they maintain two players towards the B site. They have given away a pick, though, to that op, and that's a little bit risky. Even with the weaker weapons in play, the defense is now going to be spread much more thinly and not fully able to cover all the angles on the A site with just those two players.
Yeah, but after Alex finding that frag, he takes a bit of a peek in towards connector. I mean, he did at least get the flash in with it, but it's still very awkward, especially when you know that there is an op, at least one playing around that A-bomb site. As we can see, there is two ops actually in play for that CT side. Mopo's then trying to push out from Pop Dog, unfortunately on his own, forced forward by the Molotov. He does go down, and although we do see that trade coming through from Deaths, he just about manages to stay alive while finding that frag. So a very easy finish for Favin going to come through. 13-13, the scoreline equalized now. This is not what I was expecting after we've seen such a massive lead from Movistar Riders. And not only do we see it being equalized, there's a good opportunity here for Sprout to try and take the lead. Movistar will buy, but it's similar to what we've seen before, where Mixwell, of course, investing into those ops doesn't have quite as much money then, even with the loss bonus going. So he'll be a little bit limited. Could drop an AK, though, over if someone wanted to give him an op and return. Issue is, then another player will be left glass cannon, so probably not going to happen.
And this is rough. 2 rounds so far on the T side for Movistar. They haven't managed to string any together. But Sprout looking so dominant right now. I mean, Murbit, like we said, having phenomenal performances. We've seen the aggression work out really well towards Ivy. We need to see big changes from Movistar's approach. Sprout weren't able to get too much done, but the thing was they managed Movistar's economy so well early on that it left them in the position where they could find 3 in a row when they won a buy round. Oh, Pearson's able to make it out of there alive, just about. 45 on the board. Beat Ricard as he jumped down ramp.
Yeah, that was a bit dangerous.
Like, to be honest, I don't think that there's much of a difference in how these guys are playing. Like, T-side wise, they're both atrocious. I mean,
Oh
right
yeah,
now,
no, I agree. It seems like Movistar Riders are just running into a brick wall. It more so seemed like Sprout just weren't too good on the T side though.
yeah. Well, the thing for Sprout
There's a lot
is
more
that
mistakes.
it was just all about the fact that they found so many kills in the rounds they were losing. Those first 5 rounds, they kept the economy so low. Movistar hasn't been the same kind of story. You can see right now, I mean, Sprout economy's out of control. That's literally the only difference, is that Sprout were able to find, like, they both found 2 buy rounds. So, like, right now, their T side is equal, pretty much equal. But for the fact that Sprout had that economic management to then put Movistar down to a weaker buy, which I think they force bought and then ecoed. So that's given Sprout the edge. But right now, they're both just terrible on the T side from what we've seen.
Yeah, and it's still not really picking up at all from Movistar. They at least get that trade there on towards Keo. That's a little bit better. A lot of damage actually being put in towards Cirrus and Mirba on the CT side as well. Somewhat returns though, we've seen a couple low HP players for the T side. Alex and Mixwell able to find one each though. Speedy trades one back, but spammed in through the smoke as he tries to deny the bomb plant. Unfortunately, his Tracer's given away his position, of course, and now with it being all left on the Cirrus, and I mean, he has $15,000 in the bank, so he may consider at least going for this, and if he didn't know the HP that's available for all those players, picking up a rifle definitely could be worthwhile.
Or taking out his pistol at this rate. He might catch an angle here. No, I don't think he did. All in all, really nice round by Movistar. They flash into main, they peek as a team, they trade. Pearson's got the angle, scoping in, finds one, knows there's one more towards back train. He's just going to take these weapons out of their hands. There's the shot, second kill connected. I think he might, oh, well, he's definitely dead, right? Yeah. But still, like, 13 to 13, no, 13-14, right? Yeah, it doesn't clock up. So the thing there, Movistar played much differently to what they've done before. They flash in, they have 3-man peek, they trade 1 for 1. They start to push out towards the bomb site. They capitalize a couple of kills. They're covering the bomb plant, making sure to spray back through the smoke at the tracers, the Spitty, just to make sure there's no free kills going down for the CT side. And then they play the last, really passive, don't give away any angles. I like that. They're looking much, much better coming into that round. That Molotov's almost worked out poorly for the CT side because Searson was about to catch an angle, but instead, Alex bailed back. I don't think he was going to jump across based on the angle he was at, and oh my god, the time was so bad because he didn't know Alex was already out.
And we also see a frag over towards Ivy coming through. Death was just able to spam through that smoke, dropping Mirba, and the aggression this time backfiring somewhat. Favin going to be able to take down Soaker at the very least, but it's still that man advantage in play for Movistar Riders right now. And they do still have well over a minute remaining, so they're not really in a rush to have to commit to one of these bomb sites. They're setting up for it though, a split going to be coming through on towards A. And this is going to be a very, very difficult hold, but Favin actually smoked beginning to fade away over towards Ivy. If he can take down Deaths, then there's a great opportunity. He knows there's a second in towards Hell as he looks to spam away and see if he can drop Alex, and he's going to need to because he loses a teammate again elsewhere. Equalized now in the 2-on-2. It's just back and forth continuously, Mitch. And it looks like Movistar have been, I guess, intimidated a little bit away from this A bomb site now. The issue is, Spitty has already rotated back to B.
Yeah, Sprout have read this really well. Spitty coming out, he's spotted out one, but he's been spotted. Okay, this is much more difficult for him to hold on to now. But planning the bomb is difficult. They don't know where he is. They don't know which angle he can exploit. They read it correctly, getting control over towards Oil, and he doesn't expect him to be in that position now. It's all on Favin. He's got to ace this. He has the AWP, spots one going up towards Upper. He knows there was one Oil train. The info's in his court. He's got to play with. Great shot. He knows exactly where Mixwell is. He's got a smoke to play with as well. Going to drop that down. Going to tap the defuse. It's too far forward, though. Picks up the M4, and he's ready for Mixwell to peek this. Mixwell has to peek out.
Yeah, and he knows he's not on it.
Yeah.
The smoke being failed. Oh, that's just the worst thing that could have happened. He's going to see the diffuse wires. Of course, he just spam it and big rip. The only way to put it. 15 to 13. Movistar Riders finally getting up to map point. And, I mean, that's just overall a little bit sad there for Favin because he had the 4K, had a real good opportunity to just try and get that 1v1 through. And I feel like it's just the failed smoke probably going to be in the back of his mind now for a little bit. But it's not over yet. 15 to 13, there is still, of course, going to be a buy coming through from Sprout. They definitely still have the chance to bring back 2 rounds and take it to overtime. And if they get the first of them, of course, at that point, then Movistar Rider is going to be working with a relatively weak buy because they have to put a lot of reinvestment into this round.
The pause undone, I don't think that was going to be entirely to coordinate the buys. A lot of the time we say that, you know, they're calling the pause here, trying to figure out how to spread their economy. I think that's going to be a calm down pause. Because that's a hell of a tilting way to lose the round.
I'm not even sure if he realized that. That's the issue, because he still tried to stick it. If he realized, I don't think he would have.
Yeah, true. Stoker's gone down to 59 and a Molotov early on. The Sprout have still got that double op set up there. Like we said, they still have the cash to work with. Doesn't matter about not having much for the next round, because if they lose this, they'll be out anyways. The other thing is, if they win with one player left alive, it is definitely going to hurt them a lot. And for Movistar Riders, with one player lit down low, it shouldn't be too much of a negative thing to work with. They're starting to move towards B, and Spitty's alone. He's also playing super passive. Faven finds one kill. It's going to further sell the info. Oh, he spotted them head peeking. They don't even know. So Mopaz loses more HP. He's out in the open, though. Spitty's so lucky to still be alive. He's going to spray this. No, he's not. Okay, they've pushed up close. Look at this position from Mopaz. He gets teammated. Taken down up on top of the train. That's a little bit of an awkward situation. Spitty eventually falls, though. And so we're into a 3v4. The off on Faven's in a little bit of danger. A soaker takes two. The spray down through Faven to find that kill. And now the man advantage for the T side to work with.
Yeah, Keto in a good position comes through and does manage to take down one, but still, Alex is alive. A one-on-one, and the defuse actually just being stuck by Mirbit, but he doesn't have a defuse kit. And as he hops off the bomb, it's just over at that point. Alex